Welcome everyone to Living at Home Network Platform User Training 5. In this training, we're going to cover the Living at Home Network portal, which is very exciting. I'm really pleased to show you this. So, as always, I encourage you, if you already have access to the data bank and to the portal, uh, log into that right now. You can follow along with me as I'm going through this. If you don't have access, when you do get access, I encourage you to pull up this training video and work with your portal at the same time you're watching this training video to help guide you through some of the steps we're going to be going through. All right. As with all the trainings, I want to briefly mention the platform itself, the three areas where the platform is interacting with your organization and with your stakeholders. First is a website. We've gone over forms, the various donation forms, subscription forms, meeting and event registration forms, donation forms, etc. Then down at the bottom is the CRM, which is really the engine that drives all of these activities, which is the data bank. This is where all of the data on your stakeholders resides, including your participants and volunteers. And we're going to see some of that data here in the portal. And then the third area, which we'll be covering today, is the Living at Home Network portal. Now, this tool has been built specifically for Living at Home Network organizations to manage service activities. This is where you're going to be entering in new service activities. You'll be able to see existing service activities, edit existing service activities, and track all of those activities related to your participants and volunteers. So what are we going to be covering here today? Well, first logging into the portal. The portal itself, we'll look at the interface. We'll go through some of the different areas within the portal. Then we'll go through an example of adding a service request, and then how to view existing service requests, edit existing service requests, and then what information on participants and volunteers can be seen in the portal. And I'm going to talk a bit about future enhancements that we're going to be making to the portal. All right, with that, let's go in here and start looking at this. So logging into the portal, you'll have a URL to go to, which will pull up the login page you see here. This is the same look as logging into your databank account itself. You'll enter in your email and password, hit submit, and that'll log you into the portal, which we see right here. Now again, I'm using the member organization sample data bank, which we've set up specifically to do these trainings and demonstrations for Living at Home Network organizations. It is set up the same way that your data bank is set up. So in this page, we can see this is the dashboard. We can see some summary information about are there any service requests that are due today? How many are in the next 7 days? If there's any service requests that are unassigned, meaning service requests that don't have a volunteer assigned to them at this point in time. And then down here, we'll see a list of service requests that are going to happen within the next 7 days. You can click on a date in this list and pull up more specific information about that service request. I mentioned you can edit existing service requests in the portal, and you do that by just clicking on the edit button here, and that will pull up the edit form for the service requests. You can go through and edit whatever information you need to for this, and then hit save. Remember, as always within the data bank, if you make changes or additions to existing data, always hit a save or submit button prior to moving on to make sure that information is saved. So I want to point out that all of this information we're seeing in here, service records, participants' names, volunteer names. Oh, and this one, now you see this one's an assign because I didn't assign it to a specific volunteer. But all of the data that shows up here in your portal is coming out of your data bank. There isn't any information that resides just in the portal. This is all information that resides in your data bank. We're just presenting it here to you as a more efficient and effective way to manage service requests. So before I move on to other areas here, I want to show how to set up a new service request. So let's say that one of your participants calls into your office and says, I need some help with something. So you open up your portal here, you click on new service requests, and the first thing you're going to do is look for that participant in your data bank by start entering in their name. And as you enter in 3 or more letters, it's going to identify if that person is already existing in as a participant in your data bank. I want to point out, if they're not in your data bank, it's not going to uh, pull their name up here in the service requests. So that means that person is not a participant in your data bank. You need to go into your data bank and start to enter that participant information there in the data bank before it becomes accessible in the portal. But let's say this is Simona here that's called in, so you've identified her. You click next. What is the date that you want the service to happen? We'll say it's next Wednesday. What type of service are we looking for? Well, Simona needs a ride somewhere. So you click that. Uh, is it a non-medical ride? Yes, it is. Now, one of the things you might have seen is when I selected assisted transportation rides, this pulled up showing that, well, there's 5 volunteers in your database that are qualified to provide this type of service. So the system is automatically going, as you enter in the service category, identify the potential volunteers within your database that can provide this service. So when we get here to choose a volunteer, it's going to list those 5 people. So let's just, for fun here, we'll put my name in here. And so you see, as I select my record, well, then a little card pulls up here with my contact information and my availability, as well as what types of uh, service activities I'm approved to provide to participants. So this is a place where now, if you wanted to, you could click on this and send an email to me through your, your Gmail, your Outlook, or you can give me a call to verify that I'm available to do this service. If you want to just save this record and follow up with me at another time, you can certainly do that as well. So now continue on down here. So where am I going to be providing this? Well, it's a ride. So you want to select, anytime you're selecting a ride as a service activity, you need to select ride here in the service location. And we can continue to scroll down here. I'm not going to go through all the different fields in here. You can certainly look at those. But these are fields that have been set up specifically for your organization to not only track service activities, but also report on them. So these are the types of information that are necessary for you to collect regarding your service activities for reporting purposes. So all of this information will be saved within your data bank. It'll be saved to the participant specific to their service record. You'll also be able to view this within the volunteer record that it's been assigned to, but this record is assigned to the specific participant. So again, you can put in some more details here. Let's see, they're going to start at home. They need a ride to a Target store, and they want to be picked up at 12 p.m. All right. Do they need a wheelchair lift in the vehicle? Yes. You just check that box if they do. Hit next, and there you go. You can see the specifics of this. If everything looks good there, you can save it into the record, and now you can see that service record has been entered in the list of next services. Then if I were to go over into the data bank and look at Simona's record. In fact, let's do that. Let's go over here to the data bank, which I happen to have pulled open here for this organization. I'll click on her record. We'll come over to the service area here, and there we go. We can see that service record with for Simona with me as the volunteer, and all the information you entered there in the portal is now in her record in the data bank. All right, let's go back over here to the portal. So that's creating a new service request, right? And remember, if you need to modify this. Maybe let's say you talk to me and say, oh, I can't do it. You need to assign a different volunteer to this service request. Again, click on the date here, go up to edit, and now you can select a different volunteer to do this. Maybe this volunteer can do it, right? And so we'll hit save, and now that updated information has happened. It's updated the record in the data bank as well. So it's very easy to keep your service records up to date, and to manage them here in the portal. Again, the portal is your primary place where you're going to be managing service activities. You can to enter new service requests, to edit service requests, and just to see a list of existing service requests. If you want to see more than just ones in the next 7 days, you click on service requests link over here. It'll show you a complete list of service requests, which you can sort these based on the volunteer or the participant. Any of these uh, uh, can be sorted just by clicking on the header of the column. So again, complete list of service requests. And then clicking on the participant link will pull up a list of all the participants currently within your database. And if you click on some participant's name here, it's going to show you the additional information that you have stored for this person in your database. Details about the intake process. Have they had evaluations? And that information will pull up here as well. What services has this person received as well? So this participant link here gives you full information about your participants. In the same way, clicking on volunteers is going to show you all of the volunteer information specific to volunteers within your data bank. If you click on a name, here under volunteers, it's going to give you more additional details. Have they had background checks, and what services has this volunteer provided for your organization? All right, so there you go. That's a quick run through here of the portal. Again, this this tool is going to be used primarily to enter in new service requests and manage service requests. In the future, we are going to be continuing to develop this tool and provide more functionality for you in an ongoing basis. So you can see here we've got some areas in the dashboard that are going to be developed. In addition to entering in service requests, the one of the things we're going to be working on is the ability for you to enter in new participants and new volunteers through the dashboard. Uh, but until that time, if you have new participants you need to enter and new volunteers you need to enter, you need to do that within the data bank here. You can't do that yet in the dashboard, but that is going to be coming. We'll of course let you know when that functionality has been released. All right, there you go. That gives you an overview of the portal. Really encourage you to test this out, to start using this as soon as possible to enter new service requests. Once we have your participant and volunteer data in the data bank and you've okayed that information and you're signed in and you're using the data bank, then you can start using the portal to enter in new service requests. As always, you can use the uh, support requests if you have any questions about this, or send us an email at clientsupport@thedatabank.com if you have questions, those types of things. All right, hope that's been helpful, and look for additional trainings in the future. Thank you. Bye-bye.